all set?
Let's go.
Welcome to the Sports Wrap. George Ringer. Sorry about last week. A little technical difficulties. I guess I'll have to take full blame for that. We had a nice show, and
it was a good show.
Somebody didn't turn the volume on. Where would you like to start?
I watched the game.
Which game?
The Vikings.
Oh, that game.
Yes, yes.
Well, I did not watch a play, nor did I listen to a play, but
It was interesting.
Yeah, what was interesting about it?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, they played 4 quarterbacks, all of which performed really well, including our friend Max Brosmer.
He threw the only touchdown.
He threw the only touchdown, and it was a 4th and goal, and it was a tight thing. He just sat back, took one step forward, and planted it right at the tail end of the end zone, and got his touchdown. But he was the 4th man on the list, and we started off with JJ, and he did a nice job.
4 for 7 for 30 yards. I saw
4 for
today.
7 for 30 yards, and and he had they had 11 plays in his drive that he ran, and they did well. He did a nice little rollout for a first down that he looked pretty good on the rollout, but I'll tell you, when the linebacker was coming over to hit him, he kind of put his arm out and lifted his sore leg up a little bit, so he was protecting that just a smidgen.
Absolutely.
And then Sam Howell came in. Sam Howell was hot, and he is out to make this football team. And so whether he's first string or second team or whatever it is, Sam Howell was ready to go, and he was prepared, and he was just all over the place, and so he got a field goal out of his deal, and he came on for 2, and then they had Rapin come in at the end, and he looked pretty good. He was scrambling all over, and then Max finished up. Now that was the good news. The four quarterbacks. And the one guy that I want to talk about, though, is Xavier Scott. Xavier Scott. Now he's from the University of Maine, so I tried to look up some information on it, and apparently Maine's not part of the deal. So there was very little information. He comes from University of Maine. They didn't have a particularly good team the last couple of years, but he is 6'2", 220 pounds. He can run, and he can hit. He runs behind his pads, and if you're going to take him on head on, you're going to pay some dues. And he can do one other thing, and you know that I like this. As a back out of the backfield, he can catch the ball. And it's just like I like Chandler. I've watched him for a couple of years, and I was just waiting for him, because he was a good third back. I'm not sure Chandler's going to make it. I think Scott's got a good chance of beating them out, and it's and when he's running behind C.J. Ham, it looks like an armored division. It really does. He runs it real well, and so I'm looking forward to watching him. I call him Makwa Scott. So, but he is built like a bear, and some of these guys showed up in camp in good shape, trying to make this team. He runs with intensity and plays with intensity that I haven't seen since Irvin Pace.
Well, I think we talked about
Ivan Pace.
I talked about this with somebody else yesterday in another thing, but when you go 14-3 in a regular season, people want to be a part of that.
Yes.
And want to make contributions and see themselves with a chance. So you talk about trying to make the team. They want to be part of that team, and they know the team's pretty good. And if you're going to make it, you're going to have to do things well. So yeah, a 20-10 win. You basically hit all the points. They get the Patriots this coming Saturday at noon. A couple practices with the Patriots as well.
Wednesday and Thursday they practice, and then on Saturday they go out and
I would suspect that by Saturday noon things are going to be a little testy.
I think they probably will too. Anyway, some bad news: the wide receiver Moore, he's out, and considering that we have some of the best wide receivers around, this might put a little kink in it. But they rely so much on their tight ends, and they could split them and do this. And if they get people, and I don't want to take anything away from Chandler out of the backfield, catching the ball and setting up screens. he's as good as any of them that are around there. But I think that they'll pull it together. Felton's another wide receiver that played well, and and of course Addison was playing,
right?
And I'm not sure that they went to Addison a lot because he's a really good receiver and all the rest of that. Clue guys, he's not going to be playing for 3 games. You better start concentrating on some of these guys that are. And it's just...
I think they want to make sure they get him some reps here early in camp. They know that, I think, just what you're saying, by game 3, they're going to want to be shutting him down, so to speak, trying to find out who's going to make the club, those kinds of things. I wasn't surprised that Addison caught the balls that he did. I think he'll play quite a bit again this week, and then they'll wean him off with the knowledge that he's got that 3 games to sit out.
And then of course they got the guy with the best football name I think in the NFL, Lucky Jackson. Lucky Jackson. I mean,
what position does he play?
He's a wide receiver, and he is a good one. And it's just like, he hung around for a while last year, and they got him back as a free agent again this year. But I just think that a wide receiver with a name like Lucky can't hurt. It just can't hurt. And Hawkinson and the rest of the tight ends, they look like they're ready to go. There's a couple of young kids that want positions on there, but right now that camp is chock full of talent, and they're going to have to trim it down some, and they're going to be trimming off some talent. That's just not empty.
What's the skinny on JJ's hamstring?
I didn't know he had a hamstring.
Well, he didn't practice. He pulled their first or second day of practice. He hadn't practiced in about a week. So, those hamstrings can be problematic.
2-3 weeks. He was on the sidelines, and of course he did a broadcast the third quarter.
Oh.
And so he was live broadcasting, chucking. I mean, if you want to have a live cam on anybody, put it on Jefferson. Because he's going to walk around and he's going to have a real good time and talking to the boys, and I think he's one of those characters that might be real popular on the team. I think he's a good time, and so
JJ wasn't going to play injured or uninjured. I mean, if he was 100% healthy, he wouldn't have played it down during the regular season.
No.
What about JJ? Does McCarthy play this week?
He does. He'll play more.
You think he'll play more than he did this week?
I think he will. He only got 11 plays. I think he'll probably extend that a little bit more. But they're going to look at Howell. Sam, you can't take it away from him. He was sharp. His passes were on. He's had experience. Not a lot considering how many years he's been around, but he's got talent. There's no two ways about that. And I remember when Brett Reppiam was first started in, you thought, geez, this guy's good. He's from Boise State, good size. He's been in the league now for 6 years. He very badly wants a position, and I don't know what it is about Max Brosmer, but he has a certain something that got him here. And he was confident on the field, and they were talking to other players afterwards. And he says, "You see, Max, he had the confidence of a 6-year veteran." He says he knew exactly what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it, and and there was, although he did fumble the ball once on the exchange, and that looked a little bit sloppy. But that's the kind of things that happen this time of year.
Time to get those out of the way now.
It's time to get those out of the way. Yeah.
Max might be a good practice squad quarterback.
He might.
He might be.
And you can't have too many on the practice squad. And also on defense, the defensive line, they're running that 4 line, and with a linebacker up, so it's basically a 5-man defensive line. They are big, they are strong, and they really come hard. They'll play a lot better than they played last year. I was real happy with the defensive line. Offensive line the same way. I mean, they ran the ball, and linemen, they like to drive block, and they just they get up on those pads and just go, and they were doing that. So I think if they can keep again from injury, but they have They have 5 good linemen there, and they've got to have 4 or 5 on the bench.
It helps.
It helps.
No doubt about it.
Helps.
Gophers got their first game in just over 2 weeks on the 28th against Buffalo, I believe, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Are you getting jacked to see what?
Well, I am. I'm kind of curious. And the newspapers now, they're running, going by positions, and they stopped this year at the tight end position, and they're talking about, Warren over at Penn State last year. I think he changed the game. And it's not so much that he could catch the ball and run over people and block and run the ball and do all the rest of that. I think they want to start. The first year that they were there, they threw to the tight end 18 times the whole season. Well, that's like 2 a game, and they're going to be doing more of that. They're going to have to go to the tight end. They've got a couple of good ones, and
and you know that the Gophers are going to be running with a tight end or 2 or 3. A lot of times because sometimes they bring in an offensive tackle, but sometimes they bring in 2 tight ends.
Well, if they can keep Darius Taylor in one piece, they're going to have a fine running game because he's as good a back as there is in the Big Ten right now.
I can't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see, like I said, how the things progress. Of course, they get the Gophers get a 1AA school, the FCS game. The second game, and then they get California, and then of course Ohio State comes down the pike, and then they got a little game where they go out west to play on a Friday night against the Ducks. We'll see how that all plays out in November.
Well, when I tell you, it's one of the things where it's nice to play a small school on the non-conference schedule, but you got to play horses. And I mean, if you take a look at all the good schools, the ones that are topping off in the top 10. They have some weak links in their schedule, but not many, because they have to have the points to make the tail end. And it's and I'll be curious this year as to in the Big Ten what Indiana does. They came across really good last year. They had a fine season. They got beaten in the championship game, but they deserved everything they got. I think they got a real electric coaching staff. And we can see if they can piece together that team. One of the things about coaching staff, if they have the right charisma and do the right recruiting and hit those portals, there's no reason for Indiana to drop down a lot. Michigan's going to be there. Penn State, of course, is leading the pack, and Ohio State's right behind them. We'll see what happens here, but there's a lot of competition in that Big Ten. It's got to be at least as good as the SEC.
I probably can't disagree with you there, although the SEC is definitely going to get more love than whatever. Who was I reading about? Was it Purdue? They were talking about the fact that they had gotten 54 players in through the portal.
54?
From last year. They unfortunately had lost 56 through the portal with their coaching change. And I'm like, how does somebody write a magazine article about a team you had no idea what you got till how they all mesh together, and that's crazy.
One other thing I noticed about this football game, virtual measurement.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that?
It was pretty good. They have a chain on the sideline in case
the virtual goes, has a problem, has a bad day,
and so they have a chain on there. But it looked like it was pretty close to me, and they were coming up to 2 or 3 inches on one play that they took the measurement on, and so there's no reason that it shouldn't work.
It definitely is going to take some of the whatever out of it, but at the same time, hey, what are we trying to do? We're trying to keep the game sped up. Football's already slow enough. With the 30 seconds in between plays or 40 seconds in between plays, so they got to keep the game going. I think that's why over the last, if you go back and count the number of measurements and games you've watched, even in college and the pros over the last 2 seasons, probably doesn't equal what they did. In a couple of weeks in the past.
That's right.
The chains were coming out onto the field 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game. I don't know if I saw it 5, 6, 7, 8 times like the entire year.
They would come out and take a measurement to see how far they had to go for a first down, and then they take another measurement. So you could have 2 measurements, even 3 measurements in successive plays.
Correct.
So it's kind of a strange situation, but all you have to do is, and there's like 11 cameras out there taking
there's
pictures of this. So
There's no reason for it not to be right.
no, it's going to get a little getting used to. I mean, what do you call them? The chain gang? No, you know.
Now they're just out there for decoration.
No, they're just out there for decoration.
Texas is #1 in the AP poll
They are.
for the first time ever.
No, really?
That's what the
I can't
article
believe
said that I read today in the Star
Oh,
Tribune.
Daryl Royal would just curl over on that
In the
one.
preseason poll now.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
preseason, and I'm like, how can it be like when they had Earl Campbell and blah, blah. So, I don't know. Maybe they didn't, whatever. I thought it was interesting.
No, so, you know, there is a reason that they're rated #1, you know.
Because they did the portal really well.
They did the portal really well, and
They spent a lot of money.
and they got this guy named Manning at quarterback, and that's what they're betting all their marbles on. And apparently he is incredible, and he should be a lot of fun to watch.
Manning. That name sounds familiar.
It does. It
sounds
should.
familiar, right?
He's this is 3rd generation now. I mean, I remember losing a whole lot of money when his granddad Archie was playing for Mississippi State,
Sure.
and they lost to Auburn, and it's just and it was just an incredible game, and I was sailing, and we had a table full of betting money on this football game, and we were having a pretty good time on there, but Archie didn't quite pull it out. I think Auburn won 31-30 or something like that.
Okay.
It was a great football game. So
It's only 55 years or so ago. Can you imagine? He remembers it just like, yeah.
yeah, I do remember that. I do. Remember.
Tomorrow, only 70 degrees. Man, that's glorious for a practice. What do you want to go to next?
Oh,
Or are you not done with football yet, maybe?
oh, no, you know, the thing of it is that Sue said to me, I thought you were going to cut back on football. And she said, what's all that? And I says, well, that's kind of what you do when you scout a team. You put down all their plays and how they worked out. She says, why are you doing that? I don't know, kind of the way I do things.
That's how it works.
Yeah, so
How we operate.
I'm not going to be, I'm cutting back on football one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days. One of these years.
One of these years.
So,
There was, let me see, do I have anything up here? This Hilassi, a cornerback, a
Okay.
defensive back, 2 interceptions.
oh,
And so he's out there, and I mean, and you take a look, I have my magazine with all their rosters and stuff. A third of these guys aren't even on that roster. They put that together sometime last June, and they've done a whole lot of trading since then. But I had to mention him, and anyway, I don't have to talk about the Vikings anymore.
so I see the Twins are the next thing on your list.
Uh-huh.
We said we weren't going to talk about them much
Yeah.
anymore, but
Luke Keyshaw.
they've warranted at least a mention on this show, I think.
Luke Keyshaw.
Yeah.
Rookie
He
comes in last week.
finally didn't get on base last night. I mean, that's the news of the game. Not so much that they lost to the Yankees last night. It's like Keishel didn't get on base.
They bring him up the first week, and he's American League Player of the Week. And he had what did he have? He's batting .455. He had 10 RBIs, 2 home runs, including a walk-off home run on Sunday night. This kid was scheming, and if they're gonna bring anybody into that stadium to watch football, it's going to be Keyshaw that's going to be bringing him in, and he's young and he's sparkly and
Looks like he's having fun.
like he's having fun. But you know, I tell you, what I want to just mention a few minutes is the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
They're right now the hottest team in baseball. Now we picked a lot of teams. We picked like New York, and we picked Los Angeles, and we picked a lot of these teams. The Brewers are blowing New York right off the chart right now. In fact, they're leading the league in wins.
So you're ready to give him the trophy right now?
No,
We can
I'm
go-
not ready to give them the trophy, but I'm going to tell you, this is the smallest market. They have one of the lowest price rosters in baseball, and what have they won? 8 out of the last 9?
So you're telling me that Detroit and the Brewers are the 2 best teams in the Major League Baseball?
I can't deny either one of them a possibility. Besides, you know, it's
Wouldn't that be nice if the World Series all they had to do was hop over the lake?
yeah, that'd be superb.
Be done.
Yeah, that would be superb.
The heck with those big $450 million places. Anyway.
Well, I think sometimes, you know, you take a look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers are bound to win it. They have all this talent, all this money. You got Los Angeles. You got all the rest of that.
And the Twins should have taken 2 or 3 from them.
Yeah,
in their house,
in their house.
palace.
So it's one of those things where they know one thing: they can be beat. And besides, I'm not sure their pitching staff is all that hot. Otani is he's still coming into his own, and maybe in the next month or so he can start and finish a game, but I doubt it.
And now he's getting sued for whatevering a $240 million hotel in Hawaii. He did something, him and his agent. He's getting his name dragged through the mud today on the old Twitterverse.
Well, you know,
X-verse.
Mr. Otani, you can't have too much fun. You get little, you can't have too much. So it's
Seems like he's got money issues all the time. I don't know what.
I got money issues all the time too, but I don't make as much as he does.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's true. Byron Buxton came back last night.
and he seems to have a smile on his face and ready to have a good time with his new teammates, and you know, and
This is his team now.
this is his team now.
It was Carlos Correa's team before. Now it's his team.
This is his team, and you know, and besides, they still got Joe Ryan. Lopez is probably
Yeah,
gonna
when's
be back
Pablo
somewhere.
coming back in
I
those
don't know.
pants? Not soon enough, according to the bartender here at the Rainier Beauty.
Yeah, she
The
missed-
fabulous downtown Rainier.
She misses him.
The Twins are only 5.5 games out of the wild
Can you
card.
believe that?
We're still talking about them being relevant. I told somebody, they asked me the other day, what about the Twins, blah, 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 and I said, look, if Rocco finds some way to get this team now into the playoffs, he's got to be manager of the year.
For sure.
Got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if the writers out there don't see that and don't vote for it that way, I mean, with what they did to this team, and if he finds a way to take them from when they were out of the playoffs and get them into the playoffs, I mean, it's a long shot. They're 5.5 games out. I understand there's 7 weeks left or whatever it is, but if he finds a way to do that and get this team to play ball,
You know,
God bless him.
5.5 games is not insurmountable.
not over 7 weeks.
Not
it's
over 7 weeks. It's not. No. So
So-
I'm pulling for him, and I'm going to watch him play. They got young kids down there, and the other one that you know, Cody Kramer comes on now. He's kind of the next superstar out of there, and
Okay.
they like him, and he's young and got that smile, and he's talented as hell. So I mean, sorry, but he's really talented, and so you know, we'll see what happens with Cody. But yeah, he's part of the foundation, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, these young guys are gonna have to do it.
Yeah,
So.
I agree.
You want to talk about, how about we talk a little bit Little League World Series, as long as that's coming up. That starts tomorrow.
It does.
With it being Wednesday, it's hard to believe that they just got the championships done for all the teams in the United States on Friday or Saturday, and now they rush them into Williamsport. Here's my question, George, is this, okay? You got a kid who plays baseball, right? Okay, he's pretty good. He's on a good team, right?
Yeah.
So first thing you do is you got to get through your regular season, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to go play in your district tournament, right? And then you got to go play in the state tournament. Then you got to go play in the United States regional
tournament.
And then you got to go to Williamsport when you win that all. When do these people work? A, and B, when do they get to go home and check to see if I mean, they got done on Saturday, they drove home to wherever they went, and they got in a plane to get to, I mean, think about getting to Williams. It's no easy way to get to Williamsport.
No, there's not, and you know, I mean, I have a couple of grandsons that are playing Little League ball, and they are from one end of the state to the other every weekend. I wouldn't want my kids' hotel bills. They're just incredible, and they haven't even left the state
I
yet,
was just
except
going
for
to say,
North Dakota.
much less fly into Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't know, where would you fly into to get to Williamsport? Is that in Pittsburgh? Is that a
Pittsburgh,
Philly?
probably, yeah.
Scranton?
We might do Scranton, Harrisburg. There's a couple of
Wilkes-Barre?
places.
I don't know
Yeah.
where. Anyway.
Yeah.
Craziness. The World Series again starts Wednesday, goes all the way through the next Sunday. I did not realize before I went and looked it up online today that there now are 10 regions in the United States. So 10 teams from the United States and 10 teams from the international. I still thought it was 8 and 8.
I thought it was 8 and 8, yeah.
But it's 10 and 10 now, so of course there's more teams. And anyway, they got their bracket out there. If you want to go look it up, you know, Eli, he just thinks that this is the coolest thing, that they got 12-year-olds on TV and they're playing ball. I
got to agree with him. This is cool.
I can't get him to watch the Twins or whatever, but I turn the Little League game on and he's sitting there watching, and I'm like, okay, I guess I get it, but you could watch the majors or you could watch the 12-year-olds, and he'd rather watch the 12-year-olds. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
How about your Minnesota Lynx?
Hey, you know, I'll tell you, if they come back in full strength and Collier comes back, and I think that she will, I don't think New York has a chance. Right now they're tied with Atlanta, and they've lost, I'm not sure how many games, but I think they're 20 and 11. They're tied at 20 and 11. The Lynx have lost 5. They won again the other night without Collier. This team has talent, and
They're 3-0 since Nafisa went down. I mean, I'm not sure what that says, because we're saying Nafisa is the MVP, yet we're still holding court. We're still got it going on.
You know, and you know yourself, one person's not going to bring the championship. There has to be 5 on that court, and there has to be 3 or 4 that you can really count on. And I think right now, the Lynx has that.
They beat New York by 12 on Sunday. They get all week off and play New York on Saturday. So this is the end of the line for the finals rematch. You would suspect that with Minnesota winning the first 2, that New York would come back with a little more whatever on Saturday. We'll see how it all plays out, but exciting times with the Lynx. Like I said, they're 27 and 5. I believe if I do the math right, that means that there's 8 games left in the regular season. I think it's 40-game season. So 8 games. That only gets us into early September, and then we'll have the playoffs. And
yeah, that'll be fun though. The playoffs are a really good time in the WNBA.
Put it right in the middle of football season. Makes it tough on a guy.
It does. So you have to have 2 TVs. That's all. That's
only 2.
Well, that's what somebody asked my wife and I. What was our success of 50 years married? It says, well, a lot of things, but mostly having 2 TVs, and it's just like, and everybody laughs, and Sue and I look at each other like, well, you know,
it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Key to a happy marriage. 2
the
TVs.
Key to a happy.
And multiple phones, I guess, as well, right?
Yes.
So the Loons. Bad loss this past week. Bad loss to Colorado.
Yeah,
did you hear why they think they lost?
No.
Well, one of the Loons was trying to stop a Colorado player from scoring, and the referee got in the way.
Oh, really?
So apparently, in the locker room after the game, the rest of the team, when they asked the guy about what happened, they started chanting, "Take the fine, take the fine," meaning go ahead and just let her rip. We'll cover it for you.
Yeah.
We'll cover whatever fine you get. And he let loose on the official for being in the way and not doing what they were supposed to be doing, and that allowed Colorado to go up 2-0, and they got one back. But that's a tough loss. Colorado, not a good team. They talked about the fact that the Loons possessed the ball 62% of the game.
Oh,
that's big in soccer,
it is.
And yet they lost. They played a team in the Mexican League against a team from Mexico in the league's championship cup, and had almost 62% of possession and lost. That isn't normal for this team. When they possess the ball that much, they should be winning and winning handily. They'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ball bounces in weird and mysterious ways. So they get to host Seattle on Saturday, and of course Seattle has always been a thorn, but hopefully that worm is turned.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'd like to, it's still the summertime. We got to connect this a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
What else you got on that piece of paper?
That's kind of all I had. But I can tell you, I can give you every play of the first series.
I will say that for those of you that might be from the Meadowlands area, where I grew up, of course, this coming weekend is the fair in Meadowlands.
Oh boy, the
which
fair.
Which is kind of kind of a big deal, I guess. A lot of people like to come home. A lot of classes like to have their class reunions. As long as you're going to old MDLS, as we like to call it
Well,
sometimes.
you've been involved down there for
yeah.
a long, long time.
So, anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that we've got a kind of a, well, can I say a celebrity coming in? They have a shooting competition for the kids. A few years back, a basketball court was donated to the town, and they did a nice job putting it in with movable baskets that go up and down, and so that the younger kids can.
So who's coming in?
Well, Mara Braun from the Minnesota Gophers
No,
is coming in. You
wow.
know, her dad grew up in Meadowlands.
Oh, that's right.
And
That's right.
graduated 3 years in front of me. So Chris and Mara and his lovely wife Ramona is. We'll put a Ray Christensen reference in there. They're coming up for the day. Mara really wanted to come up and be a part of the competition.
Fantastic.
So she's going to help out, and of course she'll bring a few prizes and whatever else. So if you want to come out and meet Mara Braun, if you're in the area, maybe get an autograph or something, by all means, come and see Mara Braun at the Meadowlands Fair on Saturday.
Oh, you always get good celebrities down there.
Yeah, we well, like I said, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps in that situation, and it'll be good to see Chris. Haven't seen him in a couple of years. He's always a good talk, and he's got it. He's a talker and a.
Yeah,
so.
I can't believe we never were able to snag her for the show, but maybe we can someday.
Maybe someday we'll talk her. Maybe when she makes the WNBA, it'll be even bigger.
Well, this is one of the things, and they were talking about the WNBA, and they were talking about how good are the Lynx, and he says, and this is Patrick Rossi saying, I don't think they can lose even with the officiating that's going on. And then he ripped them up, and he just said, everybody is saying this now, and the WNBA is getting the poorer of the officials, and they're going to have to change that right away quick. Otherwise, the game will not improve without.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the inconsistencies from maybe one official crew to another crew, or maybe within the crew as they maybe mix people up. It's a foul on one end, it's not a foul on the other end, and you're always going to get that, whether it's the NBA, WNBA, college. I mean, you're going to get that. But you would hope that if the WNBA wants to continue that climb to the level that Caitlin Clark and some of these other ladies are taking it to, I think, it's something that needs to be cleaned up. It's something that.
Well, and the bottom line, of course, is money. And it's just like the WNBA still is not, they're losing money. And I mean, when you're getting 15, 18,000 people in your games now, as the Lynx are from time to time, and a good many of them are getting 10 plus, you should start, I realize that you could still lose money off that, but their players have to get better paid, and their officials have to get better paid, and that's when you're going to see
That's when you'll improve. Yeah, and I know they took, the ladies took a lot of guff for their shirts at the All-Star game, and I think obviously there's with the contract agreement that they have now, things are not here, so obviously you're going to try to level it out. I think ESPN has made, and these other TV stations have made a financial contribution that is where it needs to be, and it'll probably continue to grow as long as Caitlin Clark continues to be in the spotlight. I think the money dollars will start to grow. Advertisers will want to be a part of that.
Well, she's just the key to the whole program, and it doesn't even matter if she's the best basketball player in the league or not, or any. She's got the charisma. She's right there right now. I personally think Fisa Collier is she's the best basketball player in the league right now.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. I went into Dick's Sporting Goods in Duluth here a couple of weeks ago. We're walking around looking for stuff and whatever, and we got into where the clothing, the T-shirts. So there's the Minnesota Vikings stuff, right?
Yeah.
And here's the Minnesota Wild stuff, and here's the Twins stuff, and the Green Bay Packers stuff. Unfortunately, also there because you're in Duluth and they have to do that part of it. And then you go over where they had the basketball stuff. You couldn't find a Minnesota Lynx T-shirt.
Oh, that's too bad.
But what could you find? a Caitlin Clark T-shirt.
Wow.
No links, but Caitlin Clark, yes.
Well, and
So
the other, you know,
I mean, that kind of tells you where we're at, what she means to the league.
yeah, no, I think she means a ton, and it's because she has such a charismatic approach with little kids. I mean, she sits around after basketball games, and the same way with Paige Bokers, for a half hour, 45 minutes, and sign autographs. I mean, they're the Pied Pipers of basketball, and it's they have to have that. NBA had to have Michael Jordan, had to have Magic Johnson, had to have Kareem. They had to have these superstars, and so you can't.
Unfortunately, I seem to go to the coast, except for Mike. Mike stuck around. Thank you for staying in the middle of the country so that we could.
You know, what I get a kick out of this is WNBA before the games. They have all these women in fashion design clothes, and they're showing. And I think, holy cow! I know they're in good condition, but they're 6'5" fashion models, and they're just and you know they're very attractive, and they look great in these clothes, and they just they make money off of this.
Yeah, and the guys like to come in style with their outfits before the big games too. So not that the ladies are the only one doing it, but
I thought the ladies looked a lot better than the guys. Just me.
Of course, high school sports got started yesterday, George. That always hits close to home with the football, volleyball, cross country, girls swimming and diving. The cheerleaders
So
are out.
this is 2-day week?
This is 2 days week, and they, so they're out there doing what they need to do. Of course, I just mentioned the temperature is 70 degrees for tomorrow. What a great football day that is. Canada Smoke is having a little to do across the state of Minnesota, and I looked at the map this morning, way worse down south. So I know that they're out there warning coaches to be careful with your kids if they're practicing outside. It's one of those things that they're just going to have to work around and deal with. And so, but numbers okay for the football team, 33, 9 through 12. Like to see it be higher, but it is what it is. 32 out for cross country, boys and girls, 25 girls out for swimming, 7 through 12, 56 girls out for volleyball. So lots of kids, 21 kids signed up to play 7th and 8th grade football. I'm so excited to hear that. We got that stuff coming up. So first game, 25th of August, volleyball team heads to Roseau for their first match of the season. Of course, volleyball's got a couple scrimmages next week. The boys, of course, have their scrimmage down at Deer River and a couple of Saturdays. So before we know it, people are going to be
marching in for
games. And of course, the football team plays at home Labor Day Friday against the vaunted Moose Lake Willow River Rebels. And if you're going to surprise somebody, that's when you're supposed to do it early in the season. I'll say it this way, I'll think about poor Hermantown. Poor Hermantown. They always got to play Moose Lake that first game of the year.
Yeah.
Moose Lake was willing to go on and take them, and Hermantown could not figure out how to stop the Rebels. And not many teams have, mind you. But the Broncos will have their chance to see if they can pull an upset the first game of the year.
I mean, from what I remember from last year, and if these guys come back, the team is going to have good speed. And we still got noise. Okay,
Yeah.
they're going to have good speed at wide receivers. They got good speed in the backfield, and if they can, the only thing we need is a couple of those 6'3", 250-pound twins that are moving into town.
We had a couple kids transfer in, but they're not
that big.
They're not that size.
Oh,
so, hey,
that's too bad.
The way things go.
So they're going to have a scrimmage at the stadium
next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
That is a fact. I don't know what time. I didn't ask. I just know that they were discussing whether the huddle camera was operational at our meeting yesterday, and so there we go.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the season.
The show you missed last week, we talked about he went down to Duluth a couple of weeks ago and did some blues and.
Oh, Shamika Copeland, she was absolutely out of sight, and it's but I got to tell you this: when I'm driving down the hill, well, Sue doesn't like me to drive down the hill because I keep on looking to see what's floating out in the lake, and I tended to be a traffic hazard, and so. But we came down, there was one ship out there, But last week they also had the Trans-Superior yacht
I'm
race.
glad you brought that back up again.
And one of the guys on one of the boats was at the rudder, and he fell overboard, and he had to swim 2 miles in the cold water to before they picked him up and scooped him
Wow.
up, and he was all right. But yeah, he was at the helm. Everybody
I did
else
not
was
see
doing
that.
stuff.
Wow.
And he fell out. Hey, no life jacket. See, that's not good.
Not in that kind of water, it's not.
But the winter came in Monday afternoon, a little over 48 hours. But, you know, it's one of those things. It's 326 miles. And if you're doing, you've got to do 10, 12 miles an hour for a long time. But this was a good-sized boat. And so he was able to keep wind the whole way. And I'm sure that they had a good time.
I'm sure they had a good time when they got
on
to
that
Duluth.
boat. They had 12. There was a 92-year-old man on the cruise. There were 50 boats. There was a 92-year-old and a 10-year-old. So the age gap was
Impressive.
yeah, it was impressive. Yeah.
You were in North Dakota this weekend, right?
Oh, I was,
for a
and
little- for a
I
little
went to
family
a
gathering.
wedding and saw some of those cowboys out there, and I talked to the guy who did shuttle service at our hotel, and I says, "Well, do you have a lot of people that come for football games that stay here?" "Oh yeah," and you shuttle them back and forth. Well, some of them take their cars because they do different things, but he's very excited about NDSU sports. So you know, go Bison! What can I say?
I'm sure they are going to be.
They're going to be good.
They always are.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see young Lance play this week, but he's been getting PT down there at Dallas, and so you know we'll see what he's going to wind up with. But you know it's the first week, and you're kind of amazed when you see these teams. You think, who are they going to cut? Well, they find them to cut.
They got to.
And they're going to cut half that squad, and it would bring tears to my eyes. Some of these guys, they're so talented, and it's just like, and for many, that's the end of their career. So,
There you go.
yeah.
On that happy note,
On that happy note.
we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody.